didn't get the win.
Yes, these are games in which you definitely will put an asterisk next to, because you know that you should have won this ball game. You had your ace on the mound. He was tremendous again, like he's been all year. But costly mistakes, we were not able to actually finish off a team that, again, these are teams that you have to get fat off. The Marlins are going through a rebuild. Their team, obviously, is not the caliber of team that the Nationals are going to run out there each and every day. And when you get winnable games like this, again, you're already behind the 8 ball in the standings. You cannot let games like this get away.
And that's the key to me, Bo, is where the Nationals are at, the hole that they've dug themselves puts them in situations where this is essentially a must-win game in late May. If they're, at 500, a few games above 500, you win 3 of 4 over this Marlins team, and you're still thinking that's a pretty good series. But because they've played so poorly through the first 2 months of the season, you need to win a game like this one today.
Yes, and I was actually sitting up there, I was saying, when Scherzer was able to go the strong 6 that he went, this was actually a game that you wanted to see the bullpen come in and get 3 clean innings, 9 outs, and you win the game. They hold the game right there. I think from a confidence standpoint, I wanted to see that for that unit down there in the bullpen. That did not happen, so it's back to the drawing board. If you're Davey Martinez, you still have the question marks. Who can I give this ball to in the 7th inning, in the 8th inning, with a 1-run lead or a 2-run lead that can get the ball to Doolittle? Again, Doolittle never entered this game because the bullpen was not able to hold it in the 7th and the 8th.
And here are a couple key Max Scherzer stats for me, Bo. He has now delivered a quality start in 7 straight outings. The Nationals have won 1 of those ball games. Here's a couple more. 10 of his 12 starts now, he's gotten 3 or fewer runs of support. And this is the 3rd time this season that he's left the game with a lead, and the Nationals have not won that game. They have to start cashing his quality starts into wins.
Well, again, you know every time he takes the mound that you're in position to win, because he's not going to give up a lot of runs. And, I mean, all of those stats in which you just read off, it speaks to that. But I'm going to go back to clean baseball and the ability to actually play solid defense behind your pitching staff. We did not do that. Offensively, obviously, their guy was really good.
Yeah, Rainier was good.
Let's not take away from the performance in which he had today, basically shutting down an offense that have come into the game was very hot. So when you add the two together, obviously their starting pitcher is pitching a very good game, and then defensively us not playing clean baseball.
Yeah, and let's talk about some of that clean baseball now in the 8th inning. The Nationals were tied at that point. They gave up 1 in the 7th to tie the ball game. Then Kyle Bearclaw on in the 8th, 1 on, 1 out, and a throwing error here by Trey Turner.
Yes, you would love to see Trey just continue to come get this ball. I think Adams was trying to catch the ball and stay on the base at the same time. But I think this hit batter, obviously, was a very important play, because when you look at the sacrifice fly there, I'm going to go back to the hit batter, and I was sitting here saying that we had this guy set up to finish him off in, and I don't think Bearclaw wanted to come in, and Suzuki didn't call a pitch on the inner third with the fear that he may just hit him or he may leave it middle. But when you look at that pitch sequence, he had that batter set up to basically finish him off in.
Yeah, and every pitch in that sequence was on the outer third, so you have to think from a hitter's perspective, maybe he's expecting that final pitch to be back out there.
Yes, one, it's the bases loaded, and you know you have no place to put them. And once you go to the outer third that many times and you get the foul balls and the hitter starts to lean out over, if you throw another pitch out there, you're probably going to get exactly what happened in that situation, where the guy's going to put barrel to the ball. But if you're able to actually paint your fastball on the inner third there, you may get a ground ball to third base.
Let's go back an inning earlier on now when the Marlins tied this game in the 7th inning. Tanner Rainey came on. He's a hard thrower, but struggles with command. And here, Bo, a walk to open the inning and then a bunt that went awry.
Well, again, when we start talking about big innings, you're going to see walks and you're going to see errors. In that situation there, I actually think if Matt Adams let this ball go, that the ball is going to roll foul. Unfortunately, it did not. He tried to grab the ball, and now you look at the situation, they're able to have an inning get started on our miscues.
The Nationals wanted to challenge this play. You see Davey Martinez calling for it there, but the umpires ruled that they took too long to make a decision that they wanted to challenge the play. They would not grant the Nationals the challenge. The Marlins go on to tie the game in the 7th, and as we showed you, they took the lead in the 8th and won this one 3-2. Here's our game summary. Juan Soto extends that hitting streak to a career-high 11 games. Gerardo Parra had himself an afternoon, both offensively, defensively, and on the base paths as well. And Max Scherzer, 6 innings of 1-run ball. His ERA now down to 3.26 on the season, but still has just 2 victories on the year. Bo, in a normal circumstance there, the Nationals have a 1-run lead after 6 innings. Max Scherzer's pitching well. He's at 103 pitches. Maybe he goes back out there for the 7th, but his workloads have been so high over his most recent handful of starts, and he hasn't gotten that extra day of rest leading into his outings like he will have prior to his next start. So Davey Martinez there, you have to think despite the bullpen struggles, that was the right call going to the bullpen to start the 7th inning?
Absolutely the right call. Again, this is about Max Scherzer, the season, and the rest of his career. You cannot continue to lean on him and think that he's going to be able to crank up 115, 120 pitches each and every time he goes out to the mound. The bullpen is going to have to shoulder the load in which they need to be responsible for. So I was completely fine with the decision to pull Max at that point. And you look at the fact that 6th inning, he had to actually, basically bulldog his way through that inning because it was a leadoff double, and all of those pitches were red line pitches. Yeah,
that was a stressful inning for him. He emptied the tank, had a conversation with his manager in the dugout after that 6th inning. They made the decision together to pull him after that 6th inning. The bullpen from there did not do the job. Let's go to the 5th inning where the Nationals took the lead and Max Scherzer was in the middle of it offensively, helping his own cause. But Bo Gerardo Parra, this guy keeps on delivering big knocks.
Yes, he continues to swing a hot bat. And again, you look at Parra swinging the bat there. That's a hustle double. He's running hard out of the box the whole way. That's what you love about Parra. He's a guy that you can spot start and put him into the lineup, and he is instantly going to make things happen. He was all over the place the entire game on the base path, on defense, and then you see Dozier there. I love the fact that he got it done early. It was the first pitch of the at-bat. It's a situational at-bat, and he hits the sacrifice fly to center field. And then Max coming through in the clutch like he's done so many times with an RBI single.
Max Scherzer now, since the start of the 2018 season, hitting with runners in scoring position, 10 for 31. That's a 323 average with 8 RBI. That guy, man, he competes, Bo. It doesn't matter offensively, on the mound, on the bases. That guy competes in every single aspect of the game.
Again, you talk about the complete baseball player. Obviously, we know what he's done on the mound. His statistics would tell you that he's one of the best pitchers in the history of Major League Baseball. But for me, what separates Max from other people is the other parts of the game that he works so hard at. His base running, swinging the bat, sacrifice bunting. He wants to do everything that he can to help his ball club each and every time he takes the mound.
Yeah, did everything he could today.